And call me crazy, but if Steph Curry signed with Nike instead of Under Armour, something tells me that he would have won that finals MVP. You have to understand something if you are Nike and you're in the business and you're worth practically $100 billion. Think about the valuation of Under Armour and Nike right now. That is how much is at stake if you're Nike and you have a player like Steph Curry who's suddenly better than LeBron James. He just beat him in the finals. He's better than every athlete in the world. And that is not good for business. And you have to wonder, just like with NBA and Nike, does Nike also have a relationship with some of these media companies like ESPN, for example? The answer is yes. So if Nike is a source of finance for ESPN, and let's say, for example, Nike wants certain narratives out there, would that influence ESPN? Would that influence the business heads at the top that would direct the employees of ESPN and telling them how to narrate certain things? If that makes sense to you, now think if Steph Curry was with Nike the whole time, would Nike have any reason to have Steph Curry talked about in a negative light? No. Let's see if he partners with a different company, and let's see if that somehow ends up being Nike. Because if it does end up being Nike, I wonder where the narrative is going to go from there. If he ends up being with Nike moving forward and for the rest of his life, and Curry brand is going to live long after Steph Curry retires, then maybe the narratives on who Steph Curry is can finally be corrected, and that media influence on the general public, that actually is the engine that makes people, generally, the general public, think the way they do about things. We have been making a mistake talking about Steph Curry as the greatest shooter of all time. This is an injustice and is discrediting everything about Steph Curry as a basketball player. And the more people start saying things like that, the more the overall sentiment starts to change. We should stop calling him the greatest shooter of all time. We should just start calling him one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Do you see the level of difference in those two labels?